Greetings of the day. I, Chavi Gupta, welcome you all in today's session. We were doing our chapter that is nutrition in plants. It's a long time, so I will first recap the chapter through a video and then we will do the NCERT exercise. Now,
At the end of this lesson, you will be able to describe the modes of nutrition in plants and explain the importance of photosynthesis. We know where to get our nutrients from. We get them from food, right? Be it
from where we get the nutrients, that is from our food. It can be vegetables, it can be fruits, it can be any source like meat, flesh also. So, there we get the nutrition.
be it vegetables, fruits, or meat. Have you noticed that most of the animals that we consume as meat depend on plants for their nourishment?
That was totally
So-
true. That whenever we eat flesh of any other organism, they all directly or indirectly depends on plants. So, what is the ultimate source of food? That is our plants who prepare the food for themselves and for other organisms.
So, we can conclude that we are all directly or indirectly dependent on plants for our nutrition. But where do plants obtain their nutrients from? To understand the various modes by which plants obtain their nutrition better, let's first take a look at your classroom. I used to hate it when teachers would ask me to show my homework. For some reason, this activity used to divide our class into 4 distinct groups.
Now here what happens that we divide the class in 4 different groups and name them.
The first group consisted of those who used to do their homework on their own.
The first group is the one who do their homework by themselves. वो अपना काम खुद करते हैं.
Own. The second group consisted of bullies who used to snatch homework books from the kids in the first group.
Now the second group is the one who snatched the homework from others. Like the homework which is done by the first group was snatched by the second group.
The third group consisted of those who used to copy homework from the kids in the first group.
Now the third group is the one which copied the homework from the first group.
And the fourth group consisted of kids who used to get their homework done in exchange for favors.
Now what is the fourth group? That they do the work but they do favor somebody else. Means from where they are copying the work, they will favor that person also.
Favors. The mode of nutrition can be similarly divided in
Now basically we will divide the mode of nutrition according to this.
can be similarly divided into 4 distinct modes. Broadly speaking, plants can be divided into autotrophs, similar to the kids who did their own homework.
Now the first group done their homework by themselves. So there we have a first mode of nutrition, that is autotrophic nutrition, where the plants synthesize their own food and help others.
These plants make their own
Yeah.
who used to get their home similar to the other 3 groups. These plants depend on others to provide them with nourishment.
Now other 3 groups
These
depends on
heterotrophic plants can be further divided into parasites, similar to bullies, saprotroph.
So these 3 are the heterotrophic mode of nutrition which directly or indirectly depends on plants. So we have 2 types of nutrition, that is autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Now heterotrophic nutrition is further divided into three parts, that is parasitic nutrition, insectivorous, saprophytic and symbiotic relationship.
These saprophytes, similar to kids who copy from others, and symbiotic plants, similar to kids who get their homework done from others in exchange for favors. The first mode we refer to consisted of autotrophs or plants that prepare their own food. Most green plants fall under this group. To understand how they produce their own food, let's peek inside the kitchen. Observe how your mom prepares a dish. She collects all the ingredients and mixes them together one after the other. See how she uses either a gas.
Now your mother preparing the food either on the gas stove or in the oven or in the microwave. That means she's preparing the food by herself. So the same way the plants prepare their food by themselves.
How she uses either a gas burner or microwave as a source of energy. Similarly, in plants, the green pigments called chlorophyll collect simple substances like water and salts from the soil, carbon dioxide from the air, and using sunlight as a source of energy, convert the simple substances into complex food for the plant. This process is called photosynthesis.
Now what is photosynthesis? That the process by which green plants prepare their food by using carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight. In chlorophyll molecule, they gives you food, that is glucose plus oxygen. It is known as photosynthesis.
Synthesis. The word photosynthesis is derived from two words. Photo, meaning light, and synthesis, which means to combine. Leaves are the food factories of a plant. However, other parts of the plant play important roles too. The roots help by absorbing water and minerals from the soil. The stem or trunk helps by conducting water and minerals to the leaves.
Now root absorbs the water from the soil and stems helps in conduction of this water and minerals to the leaves.
The leaves. However, the actual process of photosynthesis takes place in the leaves.
Where does the process take
If we
place?
take a section of the leaf,
leaves.
we see that it is a complex structure divided into a number of layers. The uppermost.
Now this is the structure of leaves from inside, how it appears. We have two layers, that is upper epidermis and lower epidermis. Epidermis is similar to your skin. Upper, which is visible, and lower, which cannot be seen. So in between we have some cells or some cellular arrangement which helps in making of food.
And lowermost layers are called the upper and lower epidermis. They are protected by a thin layer of cuticle.
Now what is cuticle? Cuticle is the soft waxy coating which helps the water to stay on it. Means it is a waxy coating which does not allow water to stay on it. Water spark stick नहीं करेगा.
Layer of cuticle. The lower epidermis has openings called stomata, surrounded by.
I told you that in leaves we have stomata that helps in making of food by releasing oxygen content and water vapors.
Surrounded by the guard cells. The stomata take in carbon dioxide from the air. The area above the lower epidermis is called the vein. It contains vessels that bring water and minerals to the leaf. Above this is the layer containing palisade cells, containing green pigments called chlorophyll.
So chlorophyll is present in palisade cells.
Capture energy from sunlight and use it to prepare food from carbon dioxide and water. The byproducts are oxygen and water, which are released through stomata during daytime.
Now, what happens during the daytime? The food is synthesizing, so water will get accumulated, will come together in the stomata and they will become turgid. So what will happen then? They will open. So stomata will open. Through when the stomata opens, then oxygen and water will evaporate. Oxygen will move out to the atmosphere and water will evaporate from there. Now, this evaporation is known as transpiration, that is removal of water from the surface of leaves is known as transpiration. Now what will happen that the water will transpire into the atmosphere and oxygen will move out, so then the stomata will close. So what is the function of stomata? That it helps in exchange of gases.
This food that has been made is sent to other parts of the plant through the veins. Thus, we can say that during the process of photosynthesis, energy from the sun is captured to convert carbon dioxide and water into sugar and oxygen by the chlorophyll. All chlorophyll-containing plants, including algae, and some plants with red, brown, or other dominant pigment, make food using this process. Can you guess why the sun and trees are called the lifeline of our planet? Without energy from the sun, plants will not be able to make food through photosynthesis. And if photosynthesis does not take place, we won't have enough oxygen and food to sustain life on Earth. Thus, both sunlight and trees are essential to sustain life on Earth.
Now sunlight and trees both are essential for life. Why? Sunlight is a source of energy. Now what does a tree do? Tree helps in making of food by using the sunlight. That's why both are known as lifelines for Earth.
Sustain life on Earth. As we saw, during photosynthesis, plants produce food in the form of glucose. This is then converted into complex compounds called carbohydrate like starch, cellulose, etc. Plants also prepare proteins with the help of nitrogen, which is obtained from the soil. Are you wondering how the nitrogen got into the soil? Microorganisms present in the soil play an important role in fixing atmospheric nitrogen.
Now, the organism that helps in fixing of nitrogen into the soil is your rhizobium bacteria.
Nitrogen. They convert atmospheric nitrogen into water-soluble compounds, which are absorbed by the plant roots. These minerals dissolved in the water are used to synthesize proteins and fats. These food components form the source of energy for other heterotrophic plants and animals. Of energy for other heterotrophic plants and animals. Required to prepare food from their surroundings. In such cases, they develop special sometimes. One such special case is the insectivorous mode of nutrition in plants such as the pitcher plant and the Venus flytrap.
Now, the first mode of heterotrophic nutrition is an insectivorous plant in which they trap the insect and secrete digestive juices through which they digest the insect and fulfill its need for the food. Examples are pitcher plant and Venus flytrap.
Due to a lack of nutrients like nitrogen and other minerals in the soil, their leaves are modified to form a trap with hairy walls that can capture insects. Once an insect enters the trap, the lid closes and the prey gets entangled in the hair. The plant then digests its prey to obtain the required nutrients. Heterotrophic plants don't have chlorophyll and are unable to produce food using the process of photosynthesis. They obtain food from other plants by following either a parasitic, saprophytic, or some other form of symbiotic relation with them for food. Like bullies snatching homework from other kids, some plants, like the cascuta, snatch food from other plants by climbing on them. The plants on which
Now the cascuta is snatching the food from other plant, so it is known as parasitic nutrition.
which they climb are called hosts. Since they deprive the host plant of valuable nutrients, the plant itself is called parasitic.
Now the plant which entangled around the main plant, it is known as parasite or parasitic, and on which they are climbing, it is known as a host.
In doing so, they often harm the host plant. Similar to students who copy their homework from others, some plants obtain their nutrition from decaying organic matter. They secrete digestive juices onto dead and decaying matter, and then absorb the nutrients from it. This mode of nutrition, in which organisms take in nutrients in solution form from dead and decaying matter, is called saprotrophic nutrition.
Now the mode of nutrition in which the organism take nutrition from dead and decaying matter, it is known as saprophytic nutrition, and the organisms are known as saprotroph.
Plants which use a saprotrophic mode of nutrition are called saprotrophs. Most plants belonging to the fungi category are saprophytes.
Example is mushroom
They
and
reproduce
toadstool.
using spores that are released in the air. And when these spores land on suitable surface, they germinate and grow into a new fungus.
This is a bread mold.
Similar to the happy-go-lucky students who get their homework done in exchange for favors, some organisms live together and share shelter in exchange for nutrients.
Now, previously they have explained that the soil contains a microorganisms which convert atmospheric nitrogen into soluble nitrogen compound. So what they are doing is they are help in converting the nitrogen into soluble form so that the plant can take it and synthesize the food. So what does the plant provide them? The plant provide nutrition to the microorganism for their growth. So it is known as symbiotic relationship.
Exchange for nutrients. Such an arrangement is called a symbiotic relationship. For example, crops require a lot of nitrogen to make proteins. Though nitrogen is available in plenty in the atmosphere, plants cannot use it in the same way they use carbon dioxide. They need nitrogen in water-soluble form. Now, a bacterium called rhizobium helps plants by taking atmospheric nitrogen and converting it into a soluble form. However, rhizobium cannot make its own food. So, it forms a symbiotic relationship with plants like gram, peas, mung beans, and other legumes. It lives in their roots and provides them with nitrogen. In return, the plants provide food and shelter to the bacteria. Thus, this symbiotic relationship is mutually beneficial to both the plants and the bacteria. Congratulations! You have successfully completed this lesson on nutrition in plants.
I hope this is clear to you. That is nutrition in plants. Now we will move over NCERT exercise. Now the first question is, why do organisms take food? Organism food क्यों लेते हैं? Because it gives energy. उन्हें energy मिलती है to perform various activities such as playing, running, walking, studying, etc. The food contains various components such as carbohydrate, fats, proteins, which gives us energy to do work. Now, some components like minerals and vitamins are also present in the food, which helps in growth and development of the body. Now, the next question is, differentiate between parasite and a saprotroph. What is a parasite? The organism that grows on the body of another organism and derives nutrients from it is known as a parasite. बेसिकली वो ऑर्गेनिज्म जो किसी और की बॉडी पे स्टे करे एंड उनसे न्यूट्रिशन डिराइव करे, इट इज़ नोन एज अ पैरासाइट. सो व्हाट इज अ सैप्रोट्रॉफ? सैप्रोट्रॉफ कौन थे? द ऑर्गेनिज्म दैट ऑब्टेन्स न्यूट्रिएंट फ्रॉम द डेड और डिकेइंग मैटर, इट इज़ कॉल्ड अ सैप्रोट्रॉफ. नाउ पैरासाइट एब्जॉर्ब प्रिपेयर फूड फ्रॉम द होस्ट. होस्ट ने जो फूड बनाया वहाँ से न्यूट्रिशन लेंगे, वहाँ से फूड लेंगे. एंड सैप्रोट्रॉफ क्या करेंगे? फूड को डाइजेस्ट करेंगे बाहर के एंड देन एब्जॉर्ब करेंगे. एग्जाम्पल्स आपका कस्कुट एंड ऑर्किड्स हैं. एंड नेक्स्ट एग्जाम्पल इज योर लाइस. And for saprotroph we have some bacteria and fungi. Fungi is basically a mushroom over here and bread molds. Now the next question is, how would you test the presence of starch in leaves? आप starch की presence कैसे बताएंगे leaf में है या नहीं है? Now what you will do that, take a fresh leaf, then boil it in water for few minutes to soften the cells. आप cells को soft कर लीजिए. Now dip it in iodine solution. आप उसे iodine solution में dip करिए. Now what you will observe that due to the softening of the leaf surface, the chlorophyll will expose out and the starch will remain in the chlorophyll will degenerate and the starch will come out. And when the starch will come out and we put iodine solution, what will happen? That it will convert into blue black color. This blue black color indicates that the leaf has starch in it. Now give a brief process for the synthesis of food in green plants. अब आपको प्रोसेस बताना है through which the green plants prepare their food. The process is your photosynthesis. So green plants use carbon dioxide, water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll molecule, and they convert it into glucose plus oxygen. Now the process by which green plants prepare their own food in leaves in the presence of sunlight, water, carbon dioxide and chlorophyll molecule is known as photosynthesis. Now in leaves photosynthesis कहाँ पे होता है? That is in stomata. Please always write this also when you write photosynthesis. Now show with the help of the sketch that plants are ultimate source of energy. Plants एक ultimate source of energy क्यों? Now they take the light energy, carbon dioxide from the air, and then what they do, they will make glucose which is taken by the other organisms, and what it releases oxygen which is also taken by the other organisms. That means plants are the ultimate source of energy or for food also. Next question is fill in the blanks. Green plants are called autotrophs. Green plants हम क्या कहते हैं? Autotrophs, because they synthesize their food. Next, the food synthesized by plants are stored in leaves. जो food plants ने synthesize किया है वो leaves में store होता है. That is the extra food, so it is known as starch. Next, in photosynthesis, solar energy captured by the pigment called chlorophyll molecule. फोटोसिंथेसिस में हमने पढ़ा कि सनलाइट की एनर्जी ट्रैप हो रही है कहाँ पे? क्लोरोफिल मॉलिक्यूल में. अब ड्यूरिंग फोटोसिंथेसिस, सॉरी बेटा, यहाँ पे ड्यूरिंग फोटोसिंथेसिस प्लांट्स टेक इन कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. एक मिनट, यहाँ पे ड्यूरिंग फोटोसिंथेसिस मिक्स हो गया. फोटोसिंथेसिस ड्यूरिंग फोटोसिंथेसिस प्लांट टेक इन, क्या लेते हैं प्लांट्स? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. और क्या रिलीज करते हैं? दैट इज ऑक्सीजन. नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, आपको नेम करना है, इन सबके बारे में बताना है. अ पैरासिटिक प्लांट विद येलो स्लेंडर एंड ट्यूबुलर स्टेम. ऐसा पैरासिटिक प्लांट जिसकी येलो स्लेंडर लाइक स्ट्रक्चर हो और ट्यूबुलर हो, ट्यूब की फॉर्म हो, इट इज़ नोन एज योर कस्कुटा. Now a plant that has both autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. ऐसा plant जिसके पास autotrophic भी है and heterotrophic nutrition भी है, that is your insectivorous plant. Our example is your pitcher plant. Now the pores through which leaves exchange gases. Plants किसके through exchange करते हैं gases? That is through stomata. Now the next question is, tick the correct option. Amarbel is an example of, Amarbel is your cuscuta, so it is an example of parasitic. द प्लांट विच ट्रैप्स एंड फीड्स ऑन इंसेक्ट. ऐसा प्लांट जो ट्रैप भी करे, फीड करे किस पे? इंसेक्ट्स पे. इट इज़ योर पिक्चर प्लांट. नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज मैचअप. नाउ क्लोरोफिल इज योर लीफ, Nitrogen is a bacteria which is present in the soil of the leguminous, in the roots of the leguminous plant. Amabel is your parasite, that is your cuscuta. Animals are your heterotrophic nutrition or heterotrophs. Insects is your pitcher plant. Now mark true false for the following. Carbon dioxide is released during photosynthesis. No, oxygen is released. Plants which synthesize their food for themselves are called saprotroph. जो plants अपना खाना खुद बनाते हैं उन्हें हम क्या बोलते हैं? Autotroph. So it is also false. Now the product of photosynthesis is not a protein. जो photosynthesis में product बन रहा है क्या वो protein नहीं होता? वो protein भी होता है because plants carbohydrates and proteins दोनों बनाते हैं. Now solar energy is converted into chemical energy. Sunlight हम use कर रहे हैं then हमारा ग्लूकोज बन रहा है. सो it means that we are converting solar energy into chemical energy during photosynthesis. Now choose the correct option. Which part of the plant takes in carbon dioxide from the air for photosynthesis? कौन सा पार्ट है प्लांट का जो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड लेता है एयर से फोटोसिंथेसिस के टाइम पे? दैट इज योर स्टोमाटा. नाउ प्लांट्स टेक कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड फ्रॉम द एटमॉस्फेयर. प्लांट्स कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड लेते हैं एटमॉस्फेयर से मेनली थ्रू देयर, किससे लेंगे? दैट इज योर लीव्स. दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडे. थैंक यू.